And she appreciated me helping her get off of that track. I want to tell you about the name Sark. I promised I would. And this poster here, which is called How to Be an Artist, it was my first real, I guess you could call it a product, but it didn't start that way. I had written in my journal, I had a friend over for tea, and he said, how do you live your life? I said, well, this is how I try to live it. How to be an artist. Stay loose. Learn to watch snails. Plant impossible gardens. Invite someone dangerous to tea. Make little signs that say yes and post them all over your house. Make friends with freedom and uncertainty. And it goes on, as you can see, for many other colors. And he said, that should be a poster. And I said, okay. And I tore it out of my journal and put it on the wall and said, there, now it's a poster. He said, no, I mean for the world. I said, I wouldn't have any idea how to do that. As so many people have said, I wouldn't have any idea how to do that. Well, guess who did? Jupiter, who was a young cat at the time, would get up on his hind legs and peel the poster off the wall, and it would go whoosh and wake me up. And I'd say, Jupiter, stop that! And I'd carefully fix it back up on the wall. And then I thought, maybe he's trying to say something. And I took it to a store that I knew was metaphysical, and they put it in their catalog. They said, this is kind of crooked and strange. It was written differently than this. It was very crooked. And they said, well, to give it a try, don't expect anything. And I had lived deliberately outside the money system, which I've written about for 10 years on barter and trade. So believe me, I wasn't expecting anything. And they sold 200 posters in a couple of days, and I was hand making them. So I had to write all these colorful phrases over and over. And then I didn't get nervous until 2 days later, another order came for 500. Ended up making 11,000 that way. And then it's gone on. I since then sold and had it printed, and it's sold 2 million something copies, and it's gone all over the world, and been in Time magazine, and been in all kinds of movies. And it's my statement of that we are all artists of life. And I was born Susan Kennedy in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I was reading one of my favorite paper mentors. That's what I call people who mentor you through the pages of their books, Henry Miller. And I read everything Henry Miller wrote, and especially what I call his avatar material, Stand Still Like the Hummingbird, Wisdom of the Heart. And I didn't know it, but he died. And he came into my dream. And he said, your name will be Sark, and your artwork will be famous before your writing. And I thought, that's a dumb name. I'm not going to be Sark. And I wrote this dream down in my journal and put it aside. Well, 2 weeks later, he came back in another dream, and he said, your name will be Susan Ariel Rainbow Kennedy. And I thought, that is so pretty. I'm going to add Ariel Rainbow to my name. So I went to court, and I still say the judge was not real. He was very theatrical, and he had hair that was like a nice cream cone that went up into a little point on his head. And he said, is there anyone who knows why this woman should not be named Susan Ariel Rainbow Kennedy? And of course, no one said anything, and he pounded his gavel and said, so it is. And then I looked down and was doodling and realized it spelled Sark. And I hadn't realized until that moment. So I accepted what I call the Sark energy in the early 1980s and have gone on to make hundreds of products and books and speak and teach and offer this message of the Sark spirit. And that's why I came here today. And I'm so glad I did. What a wild and welcoming, magical, heartfelt place. And do we have one more question? Oh, good. Yes. I'm paying attention to time.
You've got some time.
I still have some time, yeah. I got some time. Here's some time. Don't try to take my time. Don't I have till 8:30?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm in.
At the table,
Yes.
you were saying that the upside always happens to difficult times.
Yes.
And I loved how you expressed that, and I would like you to say it again and add more if you can.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, you know, the glass is not half empty, the glass is not half full. It's just a glass. And we get to decide what we put in it. One of my great mentors, I've had so many great mentors. Her name was Isabel Collins. I profiled her in my book, Succulent Wild Woman. She died at 90, and she said, please, I always ask people, what wisdom do you want to share before you die? And she said, please tell people that every single change or thing that happened in my life was always for the best. every one of them. She said, make sure you tell people that. And so here I am telling you that. And, it doesn't mean, what I said at the table was it takes a while for the benefits and blessings to show up in the material world. We have to go through that. Some people say that's called faith, or mean time. And notice the word mean is in there. It's kind of mean. Your house burns down. It's bad. Somebody dies. It feels bad. And you have to go through it and feel that down to your toes and come out the other side of it. And I wrote in my book, in Glad No Matter What, a chapter called The Real Story of Pollyanna. Because I've been called Pollyanna all my life, and not in a good way. And these are people that don't understand Pollyanna. And she's gotten a very bad rap, by the way. The main message on Pollyanna is she's some kind of positive ninny that just tries to always see the good side. That's not who she was at all. She's a fictional character, which I think is amusing, from the Eleanor Porter book, was made into a Disney movie in 1963. But Pollyanna was a young girl whose parents died, and she was sent to live in a town with an aunt who was not nice to her, and a town where she knew no one, and she was put in the attic because the aunt didn't want to spend any money on her. I mean, it was pretty bad. And her dad had taught her to play something she called the glad game. And so she would find something glad about everything. And then when she got really sick and fell out of a tree and was going to be paralyzed, she said, there's nothing glad about this. And the whole town came to say, yes, there is. And so I started my own version of the glad. And I put a badge from 1913 in my book, by the way. Pollyanna, Be Glad, 1913. But I do my own version, which is find something challenging. You can play this in your lives. Find something challenging in your life or something that's difficult. And then also find something to be glad about that challenge or difficulty. So I'll model it for you. Sometimes my business is overwhelming. Sometimes I get so scared and overwhelmed by having a business and a team and all of these things to do. It's sometimes hard. And I'm glad that I have a company. I'm so glad that I have a creative team. I'm so glad that I can offer these gifts to the world. Doing those two things puts me right into what I call the marvelous, messy middle. It hasn't changed the overwhelm, but in a way it has, because I have a full awareness now. And I live with the multiple feelings all at one time. And that's what I invite all of us to do. Yes. Oh, and we need a microphone. Oh, good. You already have one. This group is so good. And I love your tie.
Oh, thank you.
I could eat your tie.
Please.
Okay.
Actually, it's a Vincent van Gogh painting. So it's,
oh, well, see?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You sure are fun.
I'm fun? Oh, good. I am fun.
This is a commentary on the practice of this sheet.
Good.
Which you may have a commentary on. So what I did was I didn't write it. And then I did it, and then I did it again, and then I did it again, and I did it again. And I found that, and I got to where I wasn't thinking. So I just would say, I choose to transform life. And I found like I got a deeper cut each time. Mm. And I wasn't thinking, and I got stuff that surprised me. So I just went, it seemed like that was really cool, because I kept, getting out of thinking and going deeper into it.
I love that. Is there anyone that wants to sing their sheet? You never know. It's a rowdy group. Anything could happen. We're going to sing a song together before we close. I'm going to teach you and sing the self-love song. And I want to encourage everyone to practice hugging themselves. And I want to, because I didn't tell you what ended up happening. I have to put this down. Well, okay, so imagine that I'm hugging myself. Rolling around in bed. Oh, Susan, you're such a darling. I love you so much. I do that now sometimes 5 and 10 minutes. I mean, I'm talking someone who was embarrassed to even talk about self-hugging, and now look what I'm doing. Transformation is so amazing, isn't it? And we can do so many things that we didn't even know we could do so quickly. Our lives really can transform and change, and we really can take the losses and the things that hurt and transform them and live that way. Do we have one more question? Yes. Oh, now we need a microphone for you. And my table shared such moving things during the table process, I practically just burst into tears.
I just heard on the news the other day that I think it was Duke University completed a study that what you think improves your health.
Okay, you know.
Wow, isn't that exciting?
Yes, and I can't believe it takes so long to find this stuff out. I'm someone who, by the way, didn't have past lives. I'm someone who had future lives, and I've come back from the future. I have profound memories of what I used in the future. I'm telling you guys, we're at about 6th century BC here. You'll be amazed. It's so exciting. And a lot of it is about us opening our hearts and living transparently and living with our vulnerability and not thinking we're strangers. There are no strangers. And I mean, as you might imagine, I talk to everyone. And not all the time, and I don't like everyone either. I'm kind, but I'm not nice. A woman on the plane annoyed me so intensely yesterday that I was plotting against her. I mean, she was the loudest, most annoying person. And I was like, wow, what part of me cannot accept that this person is doing this? And I thought the part that wants her to shut up. But no, it was a great chance to practice my compassion, my kindness. And this is what we all have. We're all transformational change agents. And we all have the chance to practice with ourselves and then to help others practice too. Isn't that the wonderful thing? You know, we can point out, we can be gentle, we can say, can I help you transform this? I mean, we should all be walking around helping everyone transform everything. We're all mentors. By the way, in this room, and you guys know this, in this room is everything that everyone in this room needs. Every group that's brought together has all the solutions that that group needs. And so start to have that mindset whenever you're in any group and think, wow, I need to get a truck. Who has a truck? Wow, I need to paint my house. I need to know this about my health. I need to know how to stop being impatient. Start sharing more. Start sharing more and stop thinking that you're the only one. And stop thinking that everybody else has it but you. So those are some of that's me living as the full cup of self-love, sharing the overflow with the world. And I'm so happy about it. So I think I'm almost at time. I'm so excited I'm so excited. See, he's going to hold up that time card. By the way, on a time note, you can call in. I've written about this in my books. You can call in what I call the time stretcher. If you need more time, say, time stretcher, come to me now. You'll be amazed at what happens. And you can use time shrinker for things that you don't want to happen. All right, so now we're going to sing the self-love song. It's really quick. I'll sing it first, then you can sing it with me. Ready? It comes from the 50s, which I think is great because I'm from the 50s. I love myself, I think I'm grand. I go to the movies just to hold my hand. Me, 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 I, me, 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 I. So you ready? I love myself, I think I'm grand. I go to the movies just to hold my hand. Me, 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 I, me, 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 I. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.